Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Wednesday. Today, as you can see here, this is what we've been working on. I am going to be doing the next stage, pack 10 of that Agora Models release to build the Lamborghini Miura. So while I've got this in my hand, if you remember last time, we put the spare wheel in, we put the radiator fans in and the battery here. We're going to be building on that today. And we've also got the front end of the vehicle, which means we probably get to put the headlights together as well, which should be quite fun. If you want to get this for yourself, then you can get this from the Agora Models website. I have put a link in the video description, and they have got an accelerated starter again, so you can actually get a load of packs in one go to catch up to where I am here. But looking forward to today's one. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So we're going to start with stage 75 here. We're going to be installing the fuel pumps and the front frame reinforcement plates. Now there are two of them like this. The simplest way to identify them is if it's got this little detail on the top there, it means it's the right hand side. The other one's going to be the left hand side. So if we bring over what we were working on last time, obviously this is the rear of the vehicle, so this is going to be on the left hand side here. It basically slots into the slots that we can see on the side. So get this lined up and push that in like that. It only needs to be pushed in, you don't need to glue that. We're going to do exactly the same on the right hand side. We now need the fuel pumps, which are in this bag here. There's a tiny little detail in here as well, so don't lose that. And we also need the fuel pump bracket, which is this one. And quite simply, we're just going to be pushing the fuel pumps just onto each slot here. And again, sort of like a rectangular lug. So they are symmetrical, these are, so it doesn't matter which way around you put them in. But they should look like that. I now need to make some pipes for them, and that's why we've got these little two Y-shaped adapters here. Some tiny bits of pipe. So I am going to get my tweezers out. These tweezers, just so you know, are absolutely brilliant. These are from Oligo Models, and the link for that is in my link tree link that you saw at the start of the video. Now, I don't think I'm going to need glue for these, but I'll soon find out when I put one on, see how well it stays. You know what? That's quite good, actually. So, you want to put the shorter ends on the end of the Y, and then the longer end on the shaft of the Y. I might be able to do this one by hand. Yep, perfect. So it looks just like that. I need to make another one of those. And that's two completed. I'm attaching each top to the nipples that you can see on this side here. And they're both in just like that. Bring over this part of the car again. This is going on this side just here. You know what, it might be better to actually take that frame panel out and then mount this now on there. So you get it all the way in and then put that back in as one piece. See, that's better, and that's in like that. So underneath where we've just put that, there's two holes in the frame just here and here. That's where we want to put the pipes. One in there, and just one in the other side there. And when they're in, they should look like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 76, we do have a circuit board ready for the electrics here. We're going to be fitting the dashboard and front frame into the body and installing the circuit board. So I'll get everything open here. And just so you can see, this is what the circuit board looks like. And on that side, this is a new one. Look, each little cap has a lid on it to stop those pins getting bent underneath. That's ingenious. So for this section, I need these two items here that we had from the last pack. This massively brilliant bodywork here. And I also need the dashboard here. So I've just cleared some space because I'm going to bring up my part work upgrades mat now. And I'm going to put this upside down because it's the holes here and on the other side, probably on the top camera is better here, that I'm interested in. And on the dashboard, I'm interested in this point here, and again, one at the other side there, because that's what's going to mount over those holes. So when I put this in, it's going to fit on. Get it in there. A little bit fiddly. It's going to fit on just like that. So that's nice and flush in there now. It's going to be held in with type A screws. They come in this pack here. These are going into metal, so a little bit of oil on them. And get these all the way in. So now, I'm going to turn this over. As you can see, the dashboard is now in the vehicle. So I can put that to one side. Bring over this section we had last time and turn it upside down. I'm keeping this on the mat because we're going to be mounting the circuit board. Now, we do now need to take off all the caps that we've got on the circuit board here. So I'll get all these off. I'm going to keep these because these are going to come in handy for other builds. Now, when we put this in, we want to ensure that the numbers 5 to 8 are towards the rear side, this side here, of this unit here. Moving this wire around here, get that in. Perfect. That's held in place with some type B screws. And a big part now, because we're going to be connecting this to the front body that we just saw. And so basically I'm interested in these linkages that we've got here, here, and we've got them on the side here as well. Just move the tyre out the way and bring up the section we've just been working on. I'm going to get this wire out the way. And I'm going to mount this into the position here. Over these points just here. So it's type A screws that we're going to be screwing downwards to put this first into the base of this section here. You might find it easier when you're actually putting this together to actually just put the side bits in first and then hold them really loosely with the A screws here. Once they're in the side, it should have lined up the bottom ones for you, no problems at all. Excellent. And get this screwed in as tight as we possibly can. Now that's perfect. As you can see, we've now got all the cables here. I'm just going to trace them so that they come out of the center panel just here. And I just want to keep them out the way for a second, so I'm just going to put a bit of masking tape just over the top, stop them going around, because what I'm going to be doing now, get this one in as well, is connecting the steerage linkage here. So I need this little bit here and a Q screw, making sure the steering wheel is straight to straight wheels. And in this tiny section here, we just want to make sure that one of these pins go into the hole just at the bottom, my hand's in the way, of the steering there. So I'm going to put that in now. Very novel way to do the steering, but that was in. And this is the top then that's going to go over to pin that into place. So line that up. Make sure the pin goes into the other side of that steering housing there. Or that little bracket. And then hold that in with a Q screw. Which I've got here. And then once this is in, this will be permanently attached. Nice and tight. And there we go. The steering is now attached to that linkage there. So when I turn this, as you can see, it's going to turn this section here and back the other way. If you find it's a little bit too tight, my one's a little bit too tight then, just loosen the screws just into these specs here, and then that will get you exactly where you need to be. But that, we turn it around the other way, is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 77, we're actually going to be connecting the wiring and fitting the cockpit into the body of the car. Let's get these out. Put these just to one side for a second. Bring up my mat again, because we're going to start connecting these wires. So Take the masking tape off, and the first wire I'm looking for is the one that's yellow. Just looking around here, which is this one right here. So it's red. God, let's have a look. There's red and black, and it's got a yellow base on it. I'm going to feed that through the base just here. Let's get that lead out of the way. And we're going to plug it into connection 1 on the board. There we go. That's the first one in number 1. We want to take the horn switch now, which is the black plug with the blue panel on the back. That one's going in number 2. Again, let's thread it under there. Put this one in. We want to take the instrument panel, which is red and black, just with a white head on it. That's going to go under here. That's going into connection 7. So then we take the last one here, which is the dashboard LED, which is a white plug with a yellow panel, like that. Bring that through. That's going into connection 8. I think what I'm going to do, just to keep things tidy, is just put a bit of insulating tape just on the bottom here, just to hold them into place. Okay, I now need to get the interior cockpit. We haven't actually connected this wire yet, just so you know. And if you remember that, looks just like this. If I just turn this upside down, this time it's these connections here, which I'm interested in, because they're going to be going into the holes that we've got just at the back here and here. Just going to keep this lead out the way again while I get this in. Sort of fits in at an angle there, so that bit's underneath, and then we can just drop it into the front here, like that. Excellent. Now that's it, I'm just going to feed these wires just through into this bay here, just to keep these out of the way. There's 2 more wires there. I'll plug them in a second. Now the other thing it wants us to make sure of is on this section here, that we need to make sure that these wires are actually going down and into there. They're not coming out to this section here. Now I've just noticed that I've got a couple of broken wires off these switches here, so I'm going to fix them before I continue. There we go, I had to solder the switches here. Both of those switches wires had come off, so that was a pain, but all done now. Secure the cockpit at the back here with B screws. That's one on the other side too. And then just at the 2 front points that we've got here, probably on the side camera here, it's going to be A screws. So now they're in, I'm going to connect some more wires up now. So the black plug with the white backing on it, which is this one here, is the accelerator. That's going into number 3. So the black plug with the green panel now, which is this one here, this is the brake switch. And that's going into number 13. The engine switch, which is the black plug here, that's going into number 6. And then the interior light switch, this big one here, which is the red one here, that's going into connection 16. And there we go. Just going to tuck those wires in. That's all the wires in there. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Quite a tricky stage because obviously I had those breakages on there, but that's looking pretty good. We do still have the other sections from this pack that we haven't dealt with. We're going to do that now. Now, even though these are the parts for the next stage, and obviously we've still got quite a few parts left over from the other stage as well, we don't actually need them for a second. I'm keeping the mat down here because I wasn't lying when I said it's all coming together, because now we're going to be putting the rear of the vehicle on. So basically it's these sections here that you can see on the side camera are going to go over these sections here, but obviously it's going to be upside down. So the way this goes in is, if you can see these tabs here, and I have got the engine upside down at the moment, they're going to go over these points on the back just here. And it's going to sit in kind of like this. Now I need to get the bottom sections in first, because the bottom is going to slot into these 2 sections here. So slot the bottom ones in first. Make sure they're all lined up. Push it in And that's going to then fit just like that. And we're going to take some size A screws here. I'm going to start connecting these together. So I've got one that side. Let's do the other side. And that's the second one. Now the third one is just underneath these sections just here. And the same on the other side. Okay, so when the back's on, it should look just like that. And on the side camera, you can see the whole thing there. Okay, so we're going to some tie rods to put on first. These came a couple of stages back and look just like this. Probably best on the side camera. They're going into the slots at the top here. Make sure we get the right side. You'll know that because they won't line up with the other slot that they're going in. And then the other slot is going into the engine bay just here. There you go, quite tight to get in, but they're in looking like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So just so you can see, we've got basically stage 78 we haven't done anything with. We haven't really done anything with 77 because we've still got the parts here. And we've got part 79 here, which I'm not even going to open at the moment. We've got some electrics and headlights and stuff in here. But it looks like the first thing I'm going to do is going to be attaching the left and right doors now, which I've got here. So bring the car up again. What you do want to make sure of, as I just saw there, is to make sure that this lead actually comes through the hinge like that. That's better. Bring this out then that will fit nice and flush into that section just like that. Close the door. Perfect. Make sure it's seated exactly where we want it. And I'm going to put 2 A screws in here to get that secured in. And we're just going to do exactly the same with the right hand side door. Now if the door is trying to spring open, my suggestion to you is to just loosen some of these hinge joints here, and that should keep it closed. I'm going to turn this upside down now, because I'm going to be plugging those door switches into where they go. So you can sort of trace the wires behind this section here, behind the pipe, into this section to come out here. So this is the one with the blue square at the back. That's going into connection 15, which means the left one here, which hasn't got any colour on it, is going into connection 14. There we go, that's the doors connected, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now, I'm going to put this on the floor. You're going to love the next stage. This is stage 80. Check that out. How cool does that look? Let's get this open. This is great. Look at this. Look. Look. Oh, it's beautiful. That's what it's looking like from the underside. We're going to be working on this. But for now, I'm going to put that on the floor. Because all the parts that we didn't work on, we are now suddenly going to start working on. So I'm getting all of these parts up. And basically, it's this section here that we need first. Then I need the bonnet central crossbar. And I need to make sure that this notch is facing upwards like that. And the way this is going to go, because we've got these 2 cross members here as well, is to put this one in first. And this is just going to go into the hole there and the locating lug this side. So I'm just going to push that on like that. And then the same will happen on the opposite side here. So that's going to go on kind of like that there. I've got some B screws here, because that's what's going to hold this section in on this side first. So get 1 B screw this side, and then just do exactly the same on the other side. Now the central crossbar, with that notch facing up, is going to go into the 2 holes either side here. So one this side. This one isn't screwed in. This is just slotting in with some lugs. So now we've got a full section looking like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So I'm not actually going to open stage 81 pack because we're actually going to be working on the parts from stage 78. So we are a little bit all around the houses on this one. Let's get this open. And the first thing I want to do is take the left support. That looks like this. That's just going to go into the hole that we can see there. There is a locating lug on these. Oh, get the right one. That looks like that. So when I put this in, if I push this in here just to locate it, it's going to look just like that. Again, that's held in with a B screw. Do exactly the same on the right hand side. And again, a B screw. Then this section here is going to be joined to this section over here. So like that, this way round. And these are going to go over the top, just like that there. Again, we're going to hold all of this in with B screws. You do want to make sure that the ends here are engaged in the frame in front. And then just another couple of B screws just on the other side here. Now in stage 78, we also had these two little parts here. Let's get these out. These are actually just going to be joined together. So we're going to take one side and join it to the other side. I piece this together. 1, 2. They have got locating lugs, you see. And then push that together. That's one in. That's the second one in. So there we go. That's one piece. That's then going to go into the little hole that we got at the front there. So it's pointing forward. I'm actually just applied a little bit of glue to mine, just to get that into position. So that's in like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So even though we've got the parts for stage 81 here, we're not doing anything with those. And we've also got the parts here for stage 79. We are going to be doing a little bit with that, I think, because we've got the headlights in here and that's what we're doing now. And what I'm going to do is simply just push these into the little channels here. Now these are exactly the same, so I wouldn't worry about which one you put them in. Just make sure you put them around the right way. So this one's going in here and I'll push that in. So there you go, that's one. Let's do the other one. It sort of dictates which way it goes as well, because you have got a there you go, it does sort of clip in a lot better, but they're both in. We want to get the LED out here, and it's separate LEDs for each one. So all we've got to do is push it through the bulb holder at the back. It's going to be quite a tight fit, but you want to get that all the way in there. Do the same on the other one. We've got a headlight support now. Some little details in here. Let's get them out. And I'm putting one headlight onto the support here. So it's going to be this way round. It's just going to go in like that. And it's held from behind with a tight B screw. Now these little parts here that we've got, you can probably see them on the top camera. Let me just show you. We need to keep these safe for a later time. So there's a lot of things in this stage where we haven't used it. But I'll get these headlights on. And guess what? That is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So there is quite a few things that we've created, like this and this. We've got a pack here, which was pack 81. We haven't done anything with, but we've done a lot to do with the bodywork. So I am going to make sure that I just keep these bits safe, and I'll put these away. And just so you know, in stage 82, we had what looks like a wheel arch or something, but again, we're not using that either. So to give you an idea of, I think, how this is going to go, this will be coming in from the inside here. And it's probably going to be mounted, and I don't know, it's going to look something like that, I guess. I don't know. But there's obviously other things to add here, but there you go. Absolutely loads we've done there, absolutely loads, but it's certainly coming together, and I'm guessing in the next pack we're actually going to be putting the front end on the car as well. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.